Today we'll be looking at Hanon exercise number 37, and number 37 is a very special exercise for turning the thumb under. And this one's going to feel quite strange when you play it. It's got these notes that we have to hold on, and then we're going to literally play the rest of the exercise with our thumb going underneath into the notes that we're skipping as we play. So this is very important. When you try this exercise, I would recommend doing this exercise hand separately first until you know it very, very well. And then from there, you can then try to put it hands together. I'm going to try to take things slow. This has got a lot of repeats in it as well. We're going to have a look at each section. And yes, and then we'll put it hands together. Let's get started. As I said, the special exercise for turning the thumb under. And we are literally going to play this whole exercise with our two thumbs only. Now, that doesn't mean that we're just going to press down the thumb. No, we are actually going to hold down these notes here. So I'm going to try and color code it as I go. Hold down these 3 notes with each hand without striking them while executing these 12 measures. That means that these 3 notes right here, this little triad there, we're going to hold down the entire way. So we're not going to, whenever we finish a repeat and we go over to the next repeat, we're not going to then replay those notes. We're just going to hold them down until the very, very end. Let's have a look at this first bar here. And I'm literally going to do each bar. Well, I'm going to do the first bar. Let's say I'm going to do the first bar. And I'm going to repeat it, and then I'm going to do the left hand as well, and then we're going to have a look at the rest of the exercise. So right there we have D, F, and A. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to play not on middle C, we're going to play a little bit higher up, so that's where our hand's going to be. So it makes it a little bit more trickier because it's not right here in the center, it's right here. We're going to have to use the rotation of our elbow and our arm a little bit more in order to execute this correctly. So now I'm going to hit on C position here. I'm going to hit 2, 3, what's it, 2. I'm going to hit 2, 4, and 5, like that. So you can see my third finger isn't playing. My third finger isn't. I'm stretching here between 2, 4, and 5, especially with the fourth and fifth finger. I'm stretching right here. And what I'm going to do is, as I play, I'm also going to hit down my thumb. So I'm going to have that together. So a nice big chord there. 1, 2, 4, and 5. 1 on C, 2 on D, 4 on F, and 5 on A. And basically what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this. For that first bar, as you can see, I'm literally doing that and then going my thumb underneath. Now for me that's easy, doing just that. It's actually really, really easy because I've got nice flexibility in my thumb. But if you don't, then I would recommend you just moving your hand a little bit. But you need to always remember to hold on to those notes. And it shouldn't be pressed down like this into the keyboard. No, that's not how we hold on to notes. No, we're just going to literally rest our hand there and let the work of our thumb do, well, let our thumb do the work, yes. So, and we repeat each part twice. So literally C, E, repeat. And then we move on to our next one. Now this is quite difficult to do, even for me, because I haven't played like this in a while, where I have to literally kind of think where's my thumb and pressing it down, and also be very, very careful not to press down anything else as I do. And the more I hold on and more you start thinking about it, the more difficult it becomes. So it's quite a nice exercise to get right. You'll feel a sense of achievement if you complete it. For the left hand, we're going to start on C2. And we're going to do the same thing, but this time around, I'm going to start with my, making sure my thumb my fifth finger is actually on B, B, D, and F. Oh, so the diminished B chord. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here, nice and far away from with my thumb. So I'm starting with my thumb there. You can see I'm pressing down C2 and then E. So that's what my thumb is doing right there. So repeating that twice, and then the exercise becomes a little bit more easier as I'm now going to do E and G 2 times and so on. So the exercise isn't difficult in terms of notes and remembering any sequences. We just need to remember we're actually going to play just C and E's, or E's and G's, and so on. So, but we've got a little bit of a rhythm here as well. Just need to remember it's going to be a straight rhythm first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we introduce a little bit of a semiquavers there. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and then we are going to introduce only quavers to make it a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. So, and then later on in the exercise, you'll notice that as you play, it's going to start doing these broken chords right there without any double notes. So make sure that when you start with a tempo, start with not too quick of a tempo, so that when you get to that part, you don't need to slow down. Practice properly, practice properly as much as possible. With any of these exercises, with any piece, always start to try and practice as properly and as accurately as possible. Right, so let's have a look then at the right hand here. I'm going to play through the right hand and then the left hand. So this is going to be a long playthrough, but it will give you an idea of what you can expect. So we're literally going to start there, and we're going to do, remembering that I'm stretching there between the fourth and fifth, so that my C, E, and G is open. So that's the first one, second one. Now, big stretch, focusing on staying as relaxed as possible. Then 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and next ball 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and now 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and next ball 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and now 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and now we almost kind of getting a little bit more slower again. Then C, E, C, E, C, E, C, E, and then C, C, 2 beats, minimum notes, and then the C. As you can see, I've held down those notes all the way. And yes, you are going to kind of get lost sometimes, and you're going to lift up your hands, etc. That's the whole idea, is to keep them down in order to develop that muscles, those tiny little muscles in between our fingers that connects all our hands, so that they actually can start working much more independently and with much more flexibility. Having a look at the left hand, starting on C2, I'm going to start with my fifth on B, and I've got a nice big stretch there, and I'm literally going to start with that. So that's how I'm going to start there. B, C, D, F. B diminished with the ninth, the ninth added as a flat. What's a chord? Right, so we're going to do 1. Now, my left hand is much weaker than my right, so I'm going to make a lot of mistakes here, but that's the whole idea, not to be perfect, but to do the motion. This is not a masterpiece that you're playing. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 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 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, now that becomes more difficult. Before the ultimate level. Here's the ultimate level. Almost done. This feels like aerobics for my fingers. Very, very strange. I hope I played this right. I looked at the right hand notes. I literally look at the right hand notes here, or the treble clef notes instead of the left hand. But as far as I know, the movement for both is the same, meaning that when we do this hands together, right, and just testing the notes out first, that's what I'm gonna play. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. Wait, no, I'm wrong. You see, this is not as easy. There we go. That's what I'm gonna play. Look at that. Look at my hands. My hands feel it feels so strange pressing down these chords. So now when I do this together, I don't think it's necessary to do an exercise like this together, but it's a good challenge. Quavers. And you can do a little bit of staccato on those quavers. It doesn't need to be legato. There's no ways you're going to get this legato. And here we go. G, E, G, E, G, E, G, E. Now, it's really, 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 really fast. I can't believe, okay, there we go, mistakes, but just keep on going, that's the most important thing. And we slow down, crotchets, and thank goodness, we are done with the exercise. So as you can see, one thing you'll notice is my third fingers are lifting. It's normal, as we play, the muscle starts tensing up within our hands, and our hands are going to kind of get a little bit more stiff. So that's something that we can work on. That's definitely something that you, trying to keep the fingers as relaxed as possible while the thumb is moving, is if you can get that right, then that's fantastic. That means that you've definitely worked on improving your flexibility and also improving tenseness that you play with. And that's Hanon exercise number 37. Short and sweet, but powerful. So take your time when you do this. And again, if you like the video, please comment, start a discussion. And also remember to subscribe to the channel. I would really, really appreciate that. And next week we do Hanon exercise number 38, which is interesting because now with 38, we'll start going into scales a little bit more. See you soon.